Welcome back, everyone, to your ACFCS Tip of the Week. This is Brian Monroe, Vice President of Content here at ACFCS. Our question to you this week: what are you doing to make sure that you're in compliance with OFAC sanctions rules? Now, obviously, you know why I'm asking this. In a 2-week period, 1 week apart, 2 penalties more than $1 billion against 2 large international banks. Standard Chartered, a frequent target of U.S. authorities, and UniCredit. $1.1 billion and $1.3 billion. Now, quick contextual point here. Think about this. This is clearly regulators and investigators trying to get your attention as a banking community to say this is a priority. Make sure you're not dealing with entities, with regimes, rogue regimes, countries that are on the OFAC sanctions list. And here's why. Think about this. It typically takes years to investigate a penalty of this magnitude and negotiate a figure this large. And you have this same cast of characters, US regulators, the New York regulators, in the Standard Chartered case, even the UK FCA, and these come out 1 week apart. This is clearly regulators and investigators engaging in a shock and awe strategy to make sure that the compliance community is paying attention to how their institutions could be intersecting regimes on the OFAC list. This is a huge, huge deal now. Now, you all thought the era of massive sanctions penalties was over. This has been going on for more than a decade. Well, clearly it is not. Now, let's get into some of the issues here, what it means for you and your compliance program. Standard Chartered, $1.1 billion. Now, they have been on a deferred prosecution agreement since 2012 for similar failings. So their DPA was already supposed to be done. They're already supposed to be in compliance and out of this problem. But this is the issue. Because they have had to have their DPA extended 4 times and they've found new problems even after they were supposed to be remediating their program, that has led to a $1.1 billion penalty and their DPA being extended another 2 years. Now, again, we all know the costs related to this are not just the penalty itself, the remediation, the consultants, looking at OFAC screening lists to make sure there's no more problems, any missed reportable activity. That is something that could mostly double a compliance penalty. Now, the issue here was oversight. You heard we talk about before, oversight of your correspondent relationships. This is oversight of your direct affiliates, your direct branches. What is going on there? The issue in Standard Chartered was in Dubai, UAE, a branch that was actively thwarting the AML compliance function. First of all, AML compliance officers in the UK, in the US, they were a little asleep at the switch here, according to regulators. They missed activity that they should have seen, and also they had found out about this S2B straight-to-bank payment platform offered by Standard Chartered that was being used to evade sanctions, and they tarried on that. When they finally did, and they were telling operations, you must close these accounts for these individuals, the branch defied them. They would close the account, then go right around them and open the account again under a different name, under a different entity in the UAE that looked like it had no tie to Iran. Now, let's jump to what I think is the most interesting part of all of this, is the UniCredit penalty. So I was joking with compliance professionals in the missives I send to members, is you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, in this instance, you can take an OFAC transaction screening system and take it to compliance, but you can't get them to comply. This is literally the opposite of what we talked about, a culture of compliance. The core compliance team, this isn't this battle between this splinter group within the bank and these dogged compliance professionals after them. No, this was an operation that was in the bank's policies and procedures and run by the core compliance team, that this OFAC system would catch, obviously, things on the OFAC list, but it wasn't to report it to OFAC. It was to clean them out of the SWIFT payment messages and make sure that they would get to the desired entity's location for the benefit of Iran, Sudan, Syria, places like that. That is a huge, huge issue here when you have literally the compliance officers who are setting the policy actively helping thwart it. Now, this is something that you have to be thinking about in terms of your oversight of your affiliates, your oversight of what is going on that is part of your bank, but is outside of your purview. If you look inside the remediation they're going to have to make for these, it's extensive. It's a risk assessment. You've heard of the AML risk assessment? You're going to have to do an OFAC, specific OFAC risk assessment. You're going to have to improve your policies and procedures, your training, your resources for these individuals in the foreign locales to make sure that there's no drop-off in quality and systems and expertise when you go outside of the home jurisdiction, particularly if you're in jurisdictions with a propinquity to terrorism or financial crime, or again, if they're on OFAC sanctions lists and a lot of designated entities are a part of them. Now, everyone, we want to make you aware of these penalties and what it means so you don't get tripped up as well. You need to look into the dark corners of your compliance program to make sure there isn't any, as in these cases, pockets of non-compliance that you don't know about. And again, another lesson here, when you find out about them, don't tarry. Don't try to hide it from the regulators. Don't try to hide it from the investigators, because they're watching where the global money flows go. And if it goes to your institution, no amount of trying to hide it is going to help you, and it's actually going to make you look worse and make the regulators and the investigators look more deeply at your overall program. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you being here. If you have any questions about ACFCS, the certification, the incredible member benefits that we have, please go to acfcs.org. Until next time.